All right, today's everything about the dinghy. Kayla and I actually just got a second boat. Yeah, that's right. We did. So we ended up coming up. We got an AB inflatable dinghy. Really just something we could run around with, but it needs some work. So we got it on a trade. Got a really good deal on it. Hopefully, we're actually going to see today if we did get a really good deal on it, because it had a flat tube on it. It also needs some work on the engine. I know the previous owner was having some trouble, but since Kaylin works at a Honda dealership, it actually really works out. So it has a Honda 20 horsepower on it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're pulling the boat out of the water. We're going to put it on a friend's trailer and see what we can find out about the engine and the tubes. Hopefully fix the tubes. Got some both patching, hype-along tubes. We're going to do cleaning. We're going to do electrical. We're going to tear the motor apart. We're going to probably redo some fuel lines. So we're going to do a lot on this one. So I went ahead and put chapters down below. So if you guys want to skip to the section you want, otherwise, come along for the ride. We're going to go through all of it. All right, so we got the dinghy out of the water. It's up here on the trailer at the Marine Maintenance Managers. This is actually the place where I get all the Honda parts. So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, you got any outboards, 4-stroke, fiberglass work, they're pretty much a one-stop shop for anything boating wise. So, but here is the dinghy. I think the biggest thing is going to be working on patching, get everything patched and sealed. So that's what we're going to start on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to do that, and check for leaks first, and then we'll work on fixing holes. But first I want to pump everything up and make sure that we're good to go and we have the correct pressure. So this side's pretty good, but it actually says, oh, there we go. All right, so now it's pumping up. This one has a PSI gauge, so which is kind of nice. But we're going to pump this up, get it to the correct pressure. I think it's 3 PSI. I'm very new to the inflatable, so we're gonna figure this out as we go. So this boat has 3 chambers, and looks like the front 2, especially in the heat, have kind of inflated themselves a little bit more with the heat, so they expanded a little bit. This one, the 3rd tube back here, I know I've got the issues, and actually right here. So what happened is the guy used to tie a line and it would rub right here, and it basically just created a lot of wear and tear. So that's what we're going to probably fix today, but I want to make sure there's no other issues before. So I want to make sure there's I get all the leaks and we do this just one time. All right, and then I'm just going to take this spray bottle. It has soapy water in it, and basically go over every seam, every crevice of all the tubes. I want to make sure that, if there is a problem, or if there is a hole, I get it all patched up. So it looks like we have a very little stream right here. You see it just bubbling out right there. And then we have a big bubble right there. Looks like just a little bit coming out of that patch. This one was actually done by the previous owner, so I didn't actually do that one, but I did these other 3 or 4. And then you can see that one right there. So it looks like it's just sneaking out of there. So we'll address that. So looks like 1, 2, and then 3. Looks like, as far as I can tell, these 2 look like they held. Doesn't look like there's any concerns with it. So I'm going to spray the rest of the boat and see if there's any others that need to be addressed. I don't think so, but it doesn't hurt to check. So I have the soap and I have the water, and I got the boat out of the water, so figure might as well address it while we can. Other tube, pretty much in the same spot, has this. I noticed there was a little rub, or a little raw, so you can see the air coming out of that right there. So that's going to be another spot. So we'll put a big patch on that, because all of that looks like it's cracking. So it's just that one little spot, but we'll put a good sized patch to kind of reinforce that area a little bit. So that's good. At least At least I know where that is. And let's just keep checking the rest of the tubes. You want to do is get every seam, any place that comes together, and then, you know, so you can see, like right there, there's a, looks like a little spot right there. So we're going to do that also. All right, so I've identified all the holes. Now what we're going to do is give it a quick wash, get all the salt off of it, and then we're going to start doing some patching. Yeah, you can see how flat the fender is already, even just with what we just did. What I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna go through and prep everything first. So I've got a hole here that I knew about that I'm gonna go ahead and patch. I've got this guy leaking right there. So on this patch, the hole is actually up here. So I think what I'm gonna do is just lift this up a little bit and then apply glue from here back. And then hopefully that will take care of that problem. I'm going to remove this patch because I don't actually know where the hole is. I just know that it's bubbling a little bit right down here. And I see there's some wear marks right up here and over here. So I want to make a larger patch and just put a big spot, kind of like this one. So, and then this one started leaking a little bit down here. So I'm going to go ahead and redo that one now that it's out of the water. It's a little bit easier to address. So, and then I noticed I went in and circled, there's 3 little dots here. Pretty sure this one was the only one leaking, or maybe it was that one, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a patch right there. There's a few scrapes, so I just want to get that all set up. So if you guys work on your boat remotely, one thing I'll highly recommend, especially doing any type of dinghy work, so is the heat gun. So this heat gun is actually from Harbor Freight, just the cheapest one I could find. And then I have it connected up there to a Goal Zero. So this is the mobile setup. So I got the Yeti 100X. So that runs roughly 1500 watts, I think it is, and this heat gun is just under that. So being able to use the heat gun using power tools out remotely really helps if you don't have any place that you can plug into. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep everything, basically sand everything down, scuff it up, get the patches ready, and then I'll build up some glue. All right, so I hit a little stopping point with the patching, because so I sanded this down, got it all nice and clean. I didn't see an actual hole, but it looks like it's just very thin. The material is very thin. So we're just gonna put a bigger patch on it just to kind of reinforce. So I got this one cleaned up a little bit. Still got a little sticky residue, but I need to get a new sanding disc. So it's a little nasty now. So I got Kaylin running up from the Cabo. She's running up some sanding discs for me. So, and I pulled that patch off and then got this one over here prepped. So working on it, so getting it close. So while I'm waiting on Kaylin, I'm gonna switch gears and take a look at the engine. So I took the cowling off and then gonna get in there and address some stuff. So I'm gonna take both sides off. So when I first got it, so I don't know if you guys have this issue, but this is a 20 horsepower. It had what I'm going to call is the factory prop on it. That prop down there is actually brand new. So the prop that came with the engine was not correct for this boat, for the weight of this boat and the type. So the owner, I think, had the fins on top. You can see the bracket on the bottom. He had the fins down there too. I don't think he was ever able to plane off and get to the correct speed that he should. This should go around 6,000 horsepower or 6,000 RPMs and about 21 miles an hour. So when I ran it the first time, I was getting about 15 miles an hour. So I don't think he was ever getting what he should. And I don't think anybody ever told him just change the prop. So I changed the prop out and got a lot better pickup and performance from it. So I'm gonna pull these sides off. I think what happened was he never got to the correct speed, and I don't know if he's ever really done much with this engine before. So you can see the thermostat here. This that's just terrible. I don't know what was going on with that, so we're going to replace all of that. I got my Honda parts from Marine Maintenance Managers, went ahead and got all the stuff I needed for it, so I'm going to pull that off and replace some stuff. I already got a new carburetor, but I'm going to pull sides off, do an oil change, do a service, really just kind of go through the engine and see what we see. So, you know, I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of impressed this thing still runs for being a Honda. That's pretty good. This whole engine is nasty. So I've been just kind of degreasing, wiping crap, just trying to clean up where I can. If I had to guess, I'd say this engine sunk at one point in its life, because there's no reason for these screws, these bolts, these clips. Basically every clip on here is rusted. So every little spot, like that bolt, there's no reason for that. Like, it shouldn't be rusted. So that thing right there, you can see the dipstick is total crap. So we got to figure out what to do with the dipstick. That'll be the tough part. So I got Kalen coming up, bringing me a little bit more supplies. See what we can come up with. But I probably need to do an oil change, but I didn't bring a bucket, so I need to at least get a bucket so I can do a good service and do a change and not spill everything all over the floor. All right, so this has been my biggest concern with this engine, actually, is this dipstick. So I'm pulling off the fuel reservoir, and I'm pretty sure there's a recall in this, which they're going to help me with that at the shop. But the tube is extremely rusted, and it's so far gone. I'm pulling some flakes off. You can see this, like, you can just see how bad this is. I was really actually concerned that it was just going to crumble when I actually took it off. So the dipstick, I haven't been able to get the dipstick to seat correctly. Though there's just so much corrosion. So pretty sure this part has a recall, so it will take care of itself. Whew. That is terrible. Terrible. We're gonna have to get some new stuff. That's just nasty. Shouldn't be like this. Again, no engine should ever get this bad. I don't know what happened, but I hope it sank, because otherwise there's no real excuse for this. But it's been just kind of sitting here. So now putting some Ospo on the tube just to kind of eat away at all the rust. Want to clean this piece up a little bit, see if I can salvage it. I don't really know. It looks like I'm kind of seeing one hole already. So I just want to see if this is actually going to seal or not. Get it as clean as I can. So if you never use this stuff, it actually works really good. I use this on the Caterpillars anytime I get a little bit of rust around like the water pumps and stuff. But you just kind of brush it on, and then make sure you hose it off really good, and then put a little protectant on behind it. I went ahead and took a wire brush, like a bore brush, on the inside. There's definitely rust on the inside of this tube, so I'm not surprised, but I want to get it all clean, do an oil change, run it a little bit, do another oil change, and just kind of see where we're at. So I noticed there's a lot of galvanic corrosion down here on the not the lower unit, but I guess the base, or the power base of the power head down here. You can see a lot of stuff flaking off. I know this engine actually has in the thermostat is actually a replaceable anode, which I don't know about you, but normally if you got to take wrenches out to replace an anode and it's inside the engine, there's a good chance that it's probably never been changed. So that's pretty much what I expect. is that it's never been changed. So we will see what we get when I get into the thermostat and I pull that apart, but I'm going to assume it's probably never been touched. What do you guys think? Do you guys have a 20 horsepower? Did you even know there was an anode, a replaceable anode in the thermostat? And then you think, do you guys actually change it on a regular interval? If you do, I'll be shocked. I think that's it on this side. So I'm gonna roll it to the other side now. And let's see what we get on the other side. And there's Kaylin. All right, so we switched gears a little bit. Kaylin left us. She brought us all the stuff that we needed though to continue patching. So that's what we're doing. So I went ahead and taped off, sanded. I haven't cleaned yet. So all the patches that I'm going to be doing. So that's one. So then we got this one here. So that's a second spot. So what I did is just took the Hypalong material and cut it out and just basically make sure that you round all the edges, and then we'll apply glue. So scuffed up everything on both of these already. Did the same thing back here. You know, you can see this one scuffed up a lot. I removed that patch. I didn't actually see a hole, but I think it's just the padding coming through. So we're just going to reinforce that. Same thing here. So scuffed it up, but haven't cleaned any of that yet. So I'm going to try to reuse this one. So I went ahead and scuffed it up. And same thing for the bottom, got all the excess glue off. I'm gonna try to reapply and put that back down. We'll see if that works. So had to take a little bit of a break from the engine because, as you can see, I'm trying to take the thermostat off and it is just in terrible shape. So I'm gonna order some more parts and maybe see if I can get one of the guys here to help me out with a couple of those screws. I really don't want to strip them. So we will see. So, and then here's our big patch on the other side. So again, you know, there wasn't really a hole, but it was started to leak. It was bubbling in through here. So all of this just looks really worn. And I think it's the same thing as the other side, is the owner basically tied a line to that and then let the line drag, and it basically just swung back and forth, rubbing on this for however many years. So we're gonna put a big patch on that, reinforce that, so get it all cleaned up. Then we'll see how she looks. So definitely got a lot of work to do to get her back seaworthy, but I think it's worth it. I think we can get it. I think we can get it running. The engine was bad, but it's a lot of the parts I feel like are replaceable. So a lot of the things are, you know, easily to be just swapped out. Some screws, some bolts, a lot of the things that are rusting are brackets, which is actually really kind of nice because all the brackets are replaceable. So we'll go ahead and get those ordered once these guys open up on Monday. So I am using, it's a 2-part 4 Hypalong boats. So we're gonna mix this up. It's a 25-to-1. So basically what I have here is a mixing cup, a stirring stick, and then a paintbrush, and I just cut the bristles because what I want to do is I don't want a lot of glue. I just want to keep it nice and thin. What I got is a mixing cup, so just mixing the parts 25-to-1. Stir it really well, make sure you get all the parts mixed, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply a thin coat to each area. So keep in mind, you want to make sure you get the glue all the way to each of the edges. That's why you put the tape down. So, you know, don't put a lot of glue down, but you just want to make sure you still cover all the corners, because that's where the patches are going to come up, is on corners. So you want to make sure you get it all the way down to the edge, put in a nice thin coat, and then we're going to basically wait. I waited about 15 minutes. I know it says wait 30. I'm very impatient. I put a little bit more hardener than I probably should. So I'm going to just spread, you know, the coat out to all of these patches, and then I'm going to apply. So you put the glue on the patch, then you also put the glue on the spot on the boat, and then you reapply it and then place it together. So I also grabbed this little really nice, I'm going to call it a putty knife, but it's probably, I used it for mixing mixing paints and applying putty. But it's really nice to use as a scraper, as a tool to kind of push and get all of the bubbles out. So once you put the patch on, use something that has a blunt or soft or rounded edges that you can roll or push all of the air out. You want to make sure you continue to do that throughout the entire process. So as you are putting glue down and you put the patch on, once you put the patch on, you continue pushing out all the air bubbles, walk back and forth, do it every 20, 30 minutes, come back and repress all the glue spots, repress, put as much pressure on it as you can. And keep in mind, you don't want to have the tubes pumped up because you don't want to be working against the air, but you definitely want to make sure it's clean. So got everything patched up. I got this little piece up here up front, just going back over it again, make sure there's no air pockets in it and getting it all wrapped up. So that's as far as I got today. Sun went down. I feel like that's good enough for the day. So I did get some stuff done. I did get the little patch up there, got this one in, got all the patches done. So these guys right here, got everything down. So I kind of went over it a few times and pushing them down. So I still haven't inflated the tubes because I want to make sure that it has time to cure. I think this one actually takes, I want to say it's 48 hours to cure, so it takes a while. So I did get the engine apart and was working on it, and you can kind of see the dipstick tube right there. So that's actually starting to come back a little bit, put some Ospro on it. So I'm gonna figure out how to protect it and probably just give it a little paint job. Something that'll kind of prevent the rust from keep going. So, and then this side, I got a couple bolts that I'm trying to work out for the thermostat. I'm gonna replace the entire thermostat assembly, get all that done. I feel like it just kind of needs some love, it needs some attention. So do that, do some zincs. I think there's 2 zincs, one on the, there should be one right here, which is missing. And then there's one down there in the bracket. So we're gonna replace that. So I've already done the propeller. So again, if you guys have a 20 and you're not getting the correct RPMs or speed, check out the propeller before you start putting all these fins on. So hey guys, if you got anything from the video, do me a favor, give me a like, thumbs up, follow me for more. We're going to end up doing the Honda probably next weekend. We're going to dig into that, pull it apart. I'm really curious to see what the inside looks like because I personally don't think they have ever rinsed or flushed this engine. So we're going to see how that looks. So we'll see you on the next one. If you guys want to see the Honda one, click on the link on your screen.